Trump 2024. Let's go.
There are people that didn't do their job. I fired a lot of people that didn't do their I fire them. You didn't do your job. I'm sorry. Say hello to your family. You're fired. Get out. We got to get some. I will expel the warmongers from our national security state and carry out a much-needed cleanup of the military-industrial complex to stop the war profiteering and to put always America first. We put America first. So we're going to end these endless wars. They never stop. You ever see these wars? They're going for 14 years, 20 years. They're fighting ISIS for 21 years. These people are something. We knocked them out in 2 months, 1 month actually. We had a good general there, General Raising Cane. We have great generals, we have great leaders, we have great military, and they're not going woke. You could put them in a room for 2 years and scream woke crap to them, and they'd walk out, and they wouldn't be changed. They're not going woke. Don't worry about our military. Fourth, to curtail the power of federal bureaucrats and save your thousands of dollars, we will cut 10 old regulations for every 1 new regulation. And at the suggestion of a great guy, Elon Musk. Has anyone ever heard of him? Huh? No? Elon. Oh, there's a rocket. Oh, look, a rocket's flying. It's Elon. Now, he's very good at what he does. He's going to have to save them. They have 2 people up there. Boeing had a little, I shouldn't say there's a beautiful Boeing plane there, but Boeing had a little hard time, as you heard. So they're going to save, Leon's going to send up a rocket. He looks forward to it. That's all he thinks about is things like that. I said, Elon, what's taking so long? Let's get going. But you watch, he'll get that problem solved. What a terrible problem. It's embarrassing. That's what's happening with our country. Everything's embarrassing. You know, we don't win anymore. We don't win anymore. We used to win all the time. We won with me. We won everything with me. We won everything. Remember, I came to office and they told me, they greeted me with the following statement: "Sir, we have no ammunition." I said, wait a minute. We have no ammunition? No, sir. We've given it all away to our allies. Allies, by the way, they're allies, but not when we need them. They're only allies when they need something. If we were ever attacked, none of these countries, or very few of them, that we talk about all the time, none of them would come. We were just attacked by such and such a country. Listen, we need your help. They wouldn't take your phone call. But we give away billions and billions of dollars. No, I was greeted with a statement that, sir, we have no ammunition. And I built and rebuilt the greatest military in the world. And the first thing I did was ammunition. I got ammunition from everywhere as fast as you could. And I said to him, Mr. Congressman, what the hell are you saying we have no ammunition, even if it's true? You don't talk about it. Can you imagine? President Xi, thank goodness he was in a good mood. He's listening that we have no ammunition. Do you think he likes that sound? That's a beautiful sound to him. I said, why would you say it? Okay, medic, please. Doctor, thank you. Thank you very much. Take your time. Thank you, doctor. We get the greatest service here. It's amazing the way they just are right on it. Amazing. And some people are out here for 3 days. 3 days, so it's really incredible that things like this don't happen more often, actually, but they always turn out to be good. They're excited. They're excited by what we're doing because we're taking our country back from these lunatics. Take your time, doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Thank you. I don't want to say too many thank yous because you saw Kamala at the convention when she got up. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I said, what's wrong with her? What the? So I don't want to say too much. Is that right, fellas? I can just, every once in a while I'll say thank you, and I mean it, thank you. But my thank you is meaningful, I will tell you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Everything good? Everything good? Everybody happy? We have a good, strong person back there is getting up, yes? Okay, you tell me when. You tell me when you in the red shirt with those big muscles in your arms, this big, beautiful, beautiful person. Let me go. Should we go? You tell me when. Gets far back. These are the greatest people that will do this because they love the country. Is that okay? Is that what the okay sign is? She's okay? Say a prayer. Yeah, say a prayer. We need more prayers in this nation, I can tell you right now. That's the other thing. They want to shut down your religion. And they've done a pretty good job of it, to be honest with you. Thank you, doctor. Good doctors in these crowds. We have a lot of doctors in these crowds. There's always plenty of doctors. They're good ones, too. You know, in Butler, two of the doctors, they saved two people's lives that they thought were gone. We had Corey, the great firefighter, Corey, and he was gone, but the doctors saved the other two, and they thought they were gone. They were amazing, amazing doctors. Take your time, doctor. We have time, right? Right? We have time. That's right. We're getting a good sign, I think. Is that a good sign? We're getting a lot of good signs. That's great. Good. Got some good news back there, Ron, huh? Good job. I watched your speech today. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes? Good. Thank you very much. Thank you. And just make some room for them so they can get out and hopefully come back before we're finished, because we can stay here all day as far as I'm concerned. We'll stay here all day. Thank you very much. Doctors, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Anything happens, let us know. But at the suggestion of Elon Musk, I will create a government efficiency commission to conduct a complete financial and performance audit for the entire federal government. And we will cut the fat out of our government for the first time meaningfully in 60 years. We're going to cut the fat. There is so much fat, you won't even know it's gone. Fifth, we will drain the government education swamp and stop the abuse of your taxpayer dollars to indoctrinate America's youth with all sorts of things that you don't want to have our youth hearing. Ultimately, we'll live, and you know what we're doing here. I say it all the time, I'm dying to get back to do this. We will ultimately eliminate the Federal Department of Education and send education back to Wisconsin and back to the states. We'll send it back to the states so that Ron Johnson can run it, okay? We'll send it back here. Mr. Tiffany, we'll get to our Congressman Tiffany involved. He made a good speech too. We're at the bottom of every single list in education. You know that. We're at the bottom of every single list, and yet we're number one in terms of cost per pupil. So, you know the expression I used once, twice, three times before, and it was very effective actually. What the hell do we have to lose, right? We'll send our education back to the states. And you know, some states will do a fantastic job, some won't. And it's the same ones that are laggards right now. I don't want to name them because why would we want to embarrass Gavin Newsom and some of these people? Gavin Newsom, why would we want to embarrass him? But that's, by the way, speaking of California, she destroyed, as you know, Kamala destroyed the greatest city in America, San Francisco. She destroyed it, totally destroyed it. Then she became Attorney General of the state. She destroyed the state of California. Now she's running for president. We're not going to let that happen. 6, we will not tolerate so-called equity policies that punish Americans based on race or gender. America will return to the merit principle, which has just been approved by the Supreme Court of the United States. You work hard and you will be very successful. We're back to the merit system. Nobody thought that was ever even possible. We need merit. There's so many people that are left out in the cold, and that's not going to happen anymore. You work hard, you work diligently, you go to school, you do what you have to do, but it's based on merit. Again, you haven't heard that in many, many years. And 7th, working with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you know Bobby, RFK Jr., that was a meaningful endorsement. That was a great endorsement. We'll take on the corruption at the FDA, the CDC, World Health Organization, and other institutions of public health that have dominated and really are dominated by corporate power and dominated really by China. You know, the World Health Organization, they called COVID totally wrong. And I looked into it. We were paying them $500 million a year. China was paying them for $1.4 billion. We don't really know what we have because so many people have come into our country. We have no idea what we have. But let's assume we have 350 million, including 20 or 25 million criminal migrants, in many cases criminals. We have some of the worst people in the world coming into our country. Some of the worst criminals in the world are coming into our country. But we have 350 million people, let's say. They have 1.4 billion. They pay 39 million. We pay 500 million. Do you think that's a good deal? So I pulled out of it, and they came to me, and they wanted me to go back in. They wanted us to go back in, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do it. And it became actually a very popular thing. I hate to say this, but politically, like people really liked it because they knew how we were abused by them. It's run by China. It's not run by us. We pay 500, and it's run by China, who pays 39 million. So they wanted to come back, and I said, well, how come China's paying 39 million? They have 1.4 billion people, and we're paying for a much smaller number of people. We're paying 500. We will make the same deal as we made with China. Well, I said, that would mean we'd be paying about 8 million, right? They said, no, we will make the same. We'll let you come in for 39 million. And you know what? I turned them down. Not for that. I turned them down for other reasons, and because they weren't good. And they were dominated by China. But Biden came in, this stupid person came in, and he approved $590 million. Now, he knew what was going on. He knew that, well, he probably didn't. He's really, do you think he knew? I don't think he knew. Do you think somebody said, sir, we can do it for 39? You know, it's not the biggest number when you're talking trillions all the time, but it's indicative of stupidity. And she's worse than him. He is a smarter person than she is. Oh, they're waiting for the debate. You know, if I destroy her in the debate, they'll say, Trump suffered a humiliating defeat tonight. No matter what. Although they did, you know, with Biden, one of the CNN people said that about my part, they said, the Donald Trump performance tonight was the single greatest debate performance I've ever seen. 2 days later, all they did is talk about how bad he was. They didn't talk about me. They didn't talk about me anymore. But no, it's a crooked system, but we're going to make it a very legitimate system again. We can do that, and I think we can do it pretty easily with people like you have over here. I think we can actually do it pretty easily. We will establish a panel of top experts to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood diseases, including the autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and much more. And Bobby's going to be very much involved in that. We're going to get him involved because that's what he likes. That's what he's great at. Isn't it great to have a Kennedy with us? Isn't that nice? And this is really, I mean, I don't want to disrespect the rest of the family, but this has been the dominant Kennedy for the last 25 years. You know, he's a great guy. I've known him a long time. He's a great guy, and he really wants what's good for the country, and to have his endorsement is a very important thing. And Tulsi endorsed us too, almost simultaneously, and we love Tulsi. She's been fantastic. She's a woman of great common sense, actually. I've watched her for a long time. She has great common sense. I will ask Congress to pass sweeping reforms to prevent foreign influence peddling, bribery, and corruption like we have seen with a certain family in the United States. The Biden crime family, that's the family. What the hell is happening with that family, Ron? What's going on with that family? You know, the night he spoke at the convention, Congress found out that he stole $27 million. Nothing happened. Nothing happens with these people. He stole $27 million, and he was speaking at the convention. They were saying what a wonderful president he was. The worst ever in history. You know, he made a State of the Union speech, the last one. It was so bad. And I turned to CNN and MSDNC. I wanted to see how bad they'd report on it because, you know, it had to be bad. And I turned, and one of them said, not since Franklin Delano Roosevelt has a speech been made so brilliantly or delivered so well. He was coughing in his hand all the time. He's coughing. Then he walks out and shakes everybody's hand. Some people actually didn't want to. They went, hello, sir. Hello, sir. It's wonderful to have you up there, sir. So can you imagine, you know, Franklin Roosevelt was a great speaker in a certain way. Very elegant person. Came from a very elegant neighborhood, so to speak. Very, very rich and entitled, but different from these people you have today. But very beautiful speaker, and they compared him to Franklin. Not since Franklin Delano Roosevelt, has anybody made a State of the Union like that. And I said, this is really terrible. This is really terrible. And finally, I will support modifying the 25th Amendment to make clear that if a vice president lies or engages in a conspiracy to cover up the incapacity of the President of the United States, if you do that with a cover-up of the President of the United States, it's grounds for impeachment immediately and removal from office, because that's what they did. That's what they did. You know, think of it. If he didn't go to that debate, he'd still be running. He'd still be running. To every citizen who's sick and tired of the parasitic political class in Washington that sucks our country of its blood and treasure, November 5th will be your Liberation Day. November 5th this year will be the most important day in the history of our country, because we're not going to have a country anymore if we don't win. It will be the most important day in the history of our country. You know, I used to say that about 2016 because the border was bad, but the border was bad. It was like 5% of what's going on now. It was fine. And I fixed it very quickly and beautifully. And then I couldn't talk about it. I kept saying, I want to talk for the next election. Well, we got millions more votes. I couldn't talk about it. They said, sir, people don't want to hear about the border. It's in great shape. You fixed it. I said, I want to talk about the border. They said, sir, I'm telling you, nobody cares that it's true. I used to talk about the border. They didn't care because I fixed it. But this border is so much worse. This border is at a level that there's never been a border in the history of the world that's been where 20 or 25 million people have poured in and nobody has any idea where they're coming from. Here in Wisconsin, you also need to defeat a radical left senator named Tammy Baldwin, who's bad news. Baldwin voted with Biden almost 100% of the time, giving you open borders, horrific inflation, the Afghanistan disaster. That's the most embarrassing day, I think, in the history of our country, right? He's nodding, I agree. And everything else, all of these problems that we have, all of the open borders and the people pouring in, you know, all of it, like the energy we can solve quickly, everything we can solve. But we have to do something. We have millions of people coming. I mean, they've poured in. They're here. They're here. You know, the border's been a little bit tougher lately because there's an election. That's the only reason. So the numbers are a little bit better than they were 3 months ago. But that's only for purposes of, the fact is, these people, these 20, 25 million people are already in our country. What they've done to us, it's suicidal. It is suicidal. What they've done to this country, nothing like that has ever, it's an invasion of our country. But running against Tammy Baldwin is a true American patriot. He really is. He's an incredible guy. I don't know. Nothing is easy. You know, you beat these people that are in Washington for so long, and many of them are no good, but they are hard to beat. They're hard to beat. She's no good. I mean, I was president for 4 years. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I ever met her. She doesn't do anything. She just votes the party line, and then she gets the party support. She doesn't do anything for Wisconsin. When I gave you the big boat contract, I gave you the biggest boat contract in years, and a lot of people didn't want it to go here. Everybody wanted it. I gave it. She never called me. She was the one person that should have been calling me. She never called me. I gave it to you for other reasons. But we have somebody that's running. Number one, he's central casting, you have to say. This guy is central casting, and he's smart, and he's tough, and he's a hero, and he's a success, and he'll make an incredible senator for you and your wonderful people who I know so well in Wisconsin. Eric Hovde is great. Come on up, Eric. Come on up.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's give President Trump a big Wisconsin hello! You know, all of us are here for one reason. And it's the reason why this man is going through all that he's gone through. He's been put through hell, attack after attack. Why I'm going through this, why you're showing up here. We love our country. We love America. And what the Democratic Party has become today are a bunch of progressive socialists that are destroying our wonderful country. They have turned our country upside down. What was right has become wrong, and what was wrong has become right. They're damaging our country economically. Under President Trump, your wages increased 7.7%, one of the highest growth rates ever. Under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they've declined by 2.2%. because of all their inflation and reckless spending. Under President Trump, the border was almost closed, and he would have gotten the job done. Under them, who knows how many people flooding our country with criminal elements and fentanyl killing our young people. And then they push these crazy ideas like boys playing in girls' sports, men going into women's bathrooms, or transgendering our kids. That's right. Now, what they are experts at is lying. Kamala Harris and Tammy Baldwin are expert liars. You know, President Trump, Tammy Baldwin runs ads acting like she worked with you and getting things done in this state. I mean, it's priceless. Kamala Harris is now trying to steal your ideas. No tax on tips. They're trying to act like they are pushing it back against the invasion of our southern border. We're going to be tough on the border. Right. Where have you been? They've pushed the defund the police. They never stood with the police. Now they're trying to act like they're tough on law enforcement. Everything they've said has been a lie. And on top of it, they're corrupt. They are corrupt. Tammy Baldwin rails against Wall Street, and yet she lives on Wall Street with her Wall Street executive partner and taking money hand over fist. So that's what we're up against. Now, folks, as President Trump said, we have 59 days. This is the time. We can't go another 4 years what they're going to put us through. I'm going to tell every one of you, you have to walk away from here today. You have to grab every neighbor you know who's in the middle. Every family member that you know that's in the middle. Every friend, you got to sit down, you got to talk to them, and you got to get them to come over to our side for President Trump and me to bring this country back. So, are you ready? Are you ready to fight for your country? Are you ready to save the American dream? Let's go get them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Eric. Great speech. Eric, thank you very much. That was great. He'd be a great senator. He'll be with another great senator, a friend of mine for a long time, Ron Johnson, who's here and made a wonderful speech. Thank you, Ron. Ron made a wonderful, wonderful speech. And you have a congressman from Texas that's here. He's very special. He's been with me from day one. He would be with me even if I did a lousy job, perhaps. But he likes the job I've done. He literally is camped out in Wisconsin. His name is Troy Nels, and he brought his brother. I believe they're twins. You certainly look like twins. Huh? He's better looking than you, actually. But Troy is amazing. His brother's Trevor. And what Troy has done is incredible. He's literally very popular in Texas. He's a very powerful, wonderful congressman in Texas. And he's come here, and he's staying here, and he's working so hard. And I said, what are you doing? He says, we got to get you elected. If you win Wisconsin, you're going to win the whole thing. This is a big deal. Wisconsin's a big deal. So I remember that, Troy. I know it. I've been hearing all about Troy. He's doing meetings and speeches and everything. And you know, it's amazing. He's back in Texas. They love him even more for what you're doing because they know exactly. We're doing very nicely in Texas, to put it mildly. We're winning by about 16 points or something. But this is a big one, so thank you very much. I appreciate you both very much. Thank you. And a man who I watched his speech, he did a very, very good job. Tom Tiffany. Where's Tom? Tom, great job. Great speech. Thank you. I watched it from the plane, Tom. Great. Thank you. Very popular guy, very good guy, very great congressman. Wisconsin GOP Chairman Breyer. Where is Brian? Brian Schimming. Brian, thank you very much. He's doing it. Are we winning, Brian? I think so, right? You've been fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Right from day one. Door County GOP Chair Stephanie Susek. Stephanie? Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Great job. Pierce County GOP Chair Stephanie Poton. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. To Stephanie. And Marathon County GOP Chair, where are you? Kevin, where are you? Kevin, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kevin. Also with us is famed country singer, and she wrote some songs that have been top of the line and a winner of awards all over the place. Gretchen Wilson. Where's Gretchen? Gretchen, thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Do you want to come up, Gretchen? Okay, come up. Come up. Come on. What the hell? It's a Saturday. We have all day, right? Come on. Thank you.
Hello again, Wisconsin. My name again is Gretchen Wilson. I'm a Midwesterner. I come from a very small town in southern Illinois. I grew up very much like Senator J.D. Vance. I had to work hard and fight my way out of poverty just like many other Americans have done. But this is what I was taught to do, to earn my way. Since then, I've done the impossible. I am now a Grammy award-winning country music artist, a producer, a songwriter, and most importantly, a mom. Now, back in the day, my family were all Kennedy Democrats, but that's when the Democrats were on the side of the people. Once I started paying attention to what was really going on, I realized the Democratic Party left us. As a songwriter, I pay close attention to words. The words that are being used and the words that are not being used. I urge all Americans to pay close attention to what you are hearing and not hearing from the media. Because the issues that are most important for our survival are what we're voting on. I'm here today to entertain you, but I'm also here today to show my support for the only team in this race that is telling you the truth. My story isn't really that rare, but the American dream that I have been fortunate enough to find will most certainly be lost forever if we do not show up and vote for freedom in November. It is on us. Let's make sure we the people do all we can to save our country by voting for President Trump and J.D. Vance. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Gretchen. Great. That's great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Gretchen. As borders are, Kamala Harris let in over 20 million. They're now saying the number could be 25 million illegal aliens from 168 different countries. Most people don't even know that you have that many countries. Coming from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions, and terrorists at a level that we've never seen before. You know, I told this a few times. We were, during the Border Patrol was fantastic, and ICE, and our whole thing with the police officers, these are people that are brave and great, and they really want to do their job. But they came out with the Border Patrol a study on terrorism, and they said in 2019, my year, they said not one terrorist came into the country. Now, I don't really believe that. It can't be that good. It can't be, because now we have thousands coming in. But the fact that they'd even say that, and they didn't do it for me, they just did a report. They said not one terrorist, 2019, check it out. They said not one terrorist came into the country. Now we have thousands and thousands and thousands of terrorists pouring into our country at record levels. And it's going to end very badly. It's going to end very badly. We got to get them the hell out of here. We got to get them out of here fast. What they've done in allowing maybe 25 million people into our country, it should be illegal. They're destroying, it should be illegal. Maybe it is illegal. They're destroying our country. They're ruining our country. In Aurora, Colorado, entire apartment complexes are being taken over by armed Venezuelan gangs with weapons, the likes of which even the military doesn't see. They're terrorizing residents and they're just menacing the whole state. But they are menacing that community, and the people are petrified. Even the sheriff, he's trying his best, but he's got a small force by comparison. This is like a military force, and they're vicious, violent people. By the way, Venezuelan crime is down 72%. Crime is down all over the world because they're sending their criminals, not just South America, from all over the world. They're sending their criminals. They're sending people in jail for murder and drugs and everything else. They're sending them into our country. They're getting rid of them. Crime's down all over the world. Our crime is through the roof. And you haven't seen the migrant crime yet. It started and it's vicious, but you haven't seen the extent of it yet. They're just getting settled in. Colorado is a total mess with a governor that has no idea what to do. He has no idea. He's confused. He's afraid of the migrants, but he doesn't want to say it because that's a bad thing to say if you're a Democrat. You know, they put you right out of business. He fears the policies of Kamala, but doesn't want to lose his base or his job. He's afraid to say anything about it. Colorado began the threat to democracy against me, where they tried to unconstitutionally remove me from the ballot. I was the leading person in the whole country, leading everybody by a lot. And they said, let's remove him from the ballot. And then they say, I'm a threat to democracy. Think about that. But Colorado was the one that did it at the behest of the governor, probably. Many people in Colorado were absolutely angry at it. They didn't like it. Even Democrats and liberals, they said, that's terrible. You can't do that. Democrats did it. The concept of taking the #1 person in the Republican Party by far and taking him off the ballot so that the Republicans don't even have a nominee, because this was very far down the line. The case for me was won at the United States Supreme Court quickly and unanimously, and the governor, Jared Polis, had no idea what to do or say, never apologized, never did anything. They are radicals headed up by a radical governor in Colorado that has no clue how to solve this influx of crime into his state. And by the way, Colorado's one state. It's much worse in other states. But in Colorado, they've taken over. I mean, in Colorado, they're so brazen, they're taking over sections of the state. And you know, getting them out will be a bloody story. Should have never been allowed to come into our country. Nobody checked them. Nobody checked. Were they criminals? Were they from jails? We have them pouring out from jails. We have the worst criminals in all of these countries. 168 so far are registered, 168 countries. They're in our country, and they said, if you come back, you will be executed, you will be killed immediately. Not going to be easy, but we'll do it. But they have no clue how to solve their influx of crime in Colorado or anywhere else. But far more importantly, heading this governor's way are numbers of bad people that nobody will ever believe. That's just a little small group of people that are taking over. These people are tough. I always say they make our criminals look like nice people. At the time it happened, people said I would win Colorado. Colorado's traditionally not a Republican state. But I was actually tied and leading in polls in Colorado because people were so incensed at what this governor and his cronies had done by trying to strip the Republican Party of their candidate. So if I don't win Colorado, it will be taken over by migrants and the governor will be sent fleeing, because the people of Colorado should really do something that would be a classic. They should do a major protest vote in favor of Trump to reject the threat to democracy that they caused by an attempt at ballot removal. And Illinois is really the same thing, and Maine, another one. I mean, I don't understand. You know, I did very well in Maine, but they did that. The governors did that. Illinois is one of the worst run states in the country, headed by a governor, J.B. Pritzker, whose family threw him out of the family business, so he became governor instead. And his state is going to hell. It's horrible what's happening. So if you live in Chicago and your state is going to hell, vote for Donald Trump. Just vote. We'll do a good job. We'll clean it up. We'll get rid of that horrible crime. You know, in Labor Day weekend, Chicago had 117 people shot, 17 died. This is worse than Afghanistan. This is worse than any place. It's a war zone. Other states should also vote for Trump in protest because their way of life has been changed in America. Protest it. Go back to the Democrats in 4 years, but you won't, because we'll clean up this mess. And you'll say, we're never voting for a Democrat. We like Trump and his friends. Migrants and crime are here. in our country at levels never thought possible before, never even thought possible. You're not safe even sitting here, to be honest with you. I'm the only one that's going to get it done. Everybody's saying that. I'm starting to believe it myself, but they're saying the only one that's going to get it done, and I will tell you, I'm going to get it done. And so go out and do that protest. If you're Maine, if you're in Illinois, if you're in any state, because you're being overrun by criminals. You're being overrun by people. They're not being checked. They're not being vetted. They're taking over our country. They're forming armies in our country. And Aurora is just one example of many locations. Other places are probably even in worse shape. We just haven't heard about them yet. And a lot of governors don't like talking about it. Like this guy Polis, he said, no, don't talk about it. We don't want the world to find out. The world has found out. The world has found out. They have all the pictures. They have all the tape that you want. I've never seen anything like it. They walk in, they throw people out of their apartments. They take over the whole building. Now they take over another building. They're in the real estate business. Isn't that nice? They were in jail 2 months ago. Now they're in the real estate business in Colorado. Just 2 days ago, right here in small town Wisconsin. What a beautiful place. However, a member of a savage Venezuela gang was arrested for sexually assaulting a woman and attacking viciously a child. He's charged with suffocation, child abuse, sexual assault, and many other things. Bad guy. Shouldn't be in the country. Came out of jail in his country. I will get these monster criminals out of Wisconsin. I will get them out of our country. We're going to get them out fast. We're going to get them out fast. Very fast. They'll soon be back on the streets and jails of Caracas, Venezuela, and other places from where they came. Think of it, though. Venezuela crime is down 72%. People are saying, oh, isn't it wonderful, Venezuela? In fact, if they win, we're never going to lose touch with each other if they win. But we won't come here. It'll be too dangerous. We will have a meeting. We will have a rally in Caracas, Venezuela, because it will be safe by comparison to Wisconsin. Okay? So we'll all hop on a flight. We'll go over to Caracas, Venezuela, or one of hundreds of other countries that are safer than the U.S., because our country is a very unsafe country now. And we're really subject to what these people want to do. And these are violent people. These are people that were criminals at the worst level in their cities all over the world. 22 people out of the Congo in Africa. It's not just South America. People think it's Honduras and Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico. It's not. It's countries all over the world. They're coming in. 22 people from the Congo in Africa. Where are you from? From the Congo. Oh, that's nice. Where did you live? Jail. Oh, what did you do? It's none of your business. That's what they told the people. It's none of your business. You can imagine what it is. But from Africa, from the Middle East, from Europe, from Asia, they're coming in from everywhere. They're getting rid of their criminals. They're bringing them into the United States of America, our beautiful country, our now failing country. It's a failing country under these lunatics. And they're bringing them in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Ron Johnson sees it. He sees it all the time, and he gets sick over it. But we're going to do something about it, Ron. We're going to get it done. We have to. We have no choice. It's not like we have a choice. Not like we can say, oh, well, we'll live with it. You can't live with it because you're going to be killed. These are killers. But from all over the world, you take a look at the crime statistics. You take a look at the jail statistics. The jails are being emptied out. The mental institutions are being emptied out. And insane asylums. And then the press, when I say Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the press says, oh, why did he mention that? They're wise guys back there, just wise guys. They say he rambled and started talking about Hannibal Lecter. What does that have to do? That's a representative of people that are coming into our country. Dr. Hannibal Lecter, he will have you for dinner. You know that? He will have you for dinner. No, but this is what's happened. This is what's happening at levels that nobody can even imagine. Millions and millions. J.D. Vance is doing a phenomenal job. Today he said 25 million. He's doing a great job. You know, I picked the best athlete. I had great people, We have so many wonderful people. Marco was incredible, and Tim Scott was incredible, and you have a governor in a certain place that has a lot of oil. You know who I'm talking about. Well, how good was he? And you have just great places and great people. And I got to know so many. I picked JD. JD, and I could have picked anyone that would have been great. But JD had an incredible life. He had a mother who was very addicted to prescription drugs and not a lot of help from the father. And he was a great student, however, very smart. He went to Ohio State, graduated at the top of his class in 2 years. I said, 2 years, that's pretty good. I never heard of that. Then he went into the military. Then he came out, got accepted to Yale Law School, which is very hard to do without a father that has connections. Very hard to do, almost impossible. The reason he was accepted was that he was really smart. He was smart as hell. And then he worked, I guess, essentially on Wall Street or Wall Street alternative or equivalent, and did very well. And then he ran for office. I endorsed him, and he became a senator from the great state of Ohio, and he's doing amazingly well. But he's a brilliant guy, and the press went after him for about the first week, and then they gave up because he has the answers. He's really, he's conservative, but he really is like all of us. We're all sort of conservative, but what we really are is we have common sense, right? We have common sense. Common sense is more important, Ron, than anything else. We need common sense. We'd like to have borders. We don't want crime. We want good schools. We want nice housing. We want low interest rates, you know. It's called, we don't want wars. Ideally, we don't want wars. Everyone thought I'd be a warmonger. I was the opposite. But I did scare people away from having wars. And you know what I did? I used tariffs. I heard 2 countries were going to have a war. I called them both. I said, here's the story. You have a war. You're going to have to pay a 200% tariff to do business in the United States. And they'd both say, the leaders would say to me almost simultaneously, and we've decided to make peace. I stopped so many wars. They went to Viktor Orban, the fake news. They went to Viktor Orban and they said, why is the world such a mess right now? It's flaming up in the Middle East and Israel and what's happened with Russia, Ukraine. Why is it? They said, you need Trump back in. He said, nobody understood Trump. China was afraid of him. Russia was afraid of him. You know, I stopped the Nord Stream pipeline, Nord Stream 2. And then they say I was very friendly with Russia. I got along good with sort of everybody, but everybody paid up. They had to pay up. We changed so many trade deals that were so bad. USMCA, we made that one. That was a great one from the worst trade deal we ever had. NAFTA, the worst trade deal any country probably has ever had. But we did a really good job. But JD, we're very proud of him. And he made a speech this morning, and I heard it was great. And I think you will agree, Ron, he's doing a fantastic job. As Vice President Harris cast the tie-breaking votes that caused the worst inflation in American history, costing a typical family $28,000. Think of that. Yesterday, it was announced that we lost 438,000 full-time jobs in August. We lost 400, almost 500,000 jobs in August. We lost 24,000 manufacturing jobs, nearly 6,000 auto manufacturing jobs. And if I'm not elected, you will not have an auto industry at all. Volvo today announced they're getting away from the electric. Other companies announced we have paid trillions of dollars in subsidy for making these cars. And the market's not there. It's not there. It's a shame. And I'm a big fan of electric cars. I think it's great, but it's got a market. But I also want gasoline-powered cars, and I want hybrids. I want everything. Hydrogen is maybe coming. We want everything. The real unemployment rate rose to 7.9% in August. Did you know that? 7.9%. Our country's going down. Last month alone, American-born workers lost 1.3